I would rather be ass raped by the Stooges themselves than watch one more minute of this. Look, man, we normally don't talk about movies on our main channel, as in a review style.
Yeah.
That's on our other channel, but I feel like this is not even a movie review.
It's not, guys.
It's a fucking public service announcement for anyone to never watch this piece of fucking shit in their life, man.
Filth, guy.
So first off, we're Stooge guys. We like the Stooges. It's just fun. It's just plain stupid fun. The Stooges, right? So when we hear from what is it, Hats Off Entertainment?
Yeah.
Check his channel off. Great channel if you like retro shit. That there's this movie called Stoogemania, which was, made in the 80s.
Yeah, 85.
And he's like, this is a gigantic turd. And he's trying to be, professional and polite about it because unlike us, he's not a filth bucket.
Yeah.
But you can feel
the hatred.
That he's like really wanting to say, I'd rather eat poison than watch this movie. So we're like, we got to see this movie, guy.
Yeah, guy.
Coincidentally, it's on YouTube for free.
It is, dude.
So the mania can spread, but we decided to go into it knowing that he had already warned us, knowing that we were going to probably hate the shit out of this. But we're like, can't be that bad, guy.
It's got Stooges in it.
Let me tell you, it's bad. I am not kidding. These were literal phrases uttered.
Oh, yeah, classic.
As we watched this movie. I said, in a rage, in a fuming actual rage, and you know that I've always espoused that you should never get angry at media.
Yeah.
I was fucking angry and just belted out that I wish I had a gun so I could shoot you, then myself, just to make it stop.
Yes.
I was dead serious. Let me tell you that.
At one point, our dog walked up to you, you picked her up and said, I want to launch you through the TV and you'd be happy about it.
Yes, man. Fuck. You said, and I quote, I would rather be ass raped by the Stooges themselves than watch one more minute of this.
It's true, guy.
Now, you might think we're being facetious or trying to be funny. And the sad part is we were literally in a rage as we watched this entire movie.
I have never experienced such waves of rage for a movie.
Dude, now, if you've been around us for a while, you know that we indulge in shitty movies on purpose sometimes. Sometimes because it can be very fun to watch a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll watch a bad one and it'll just break us, but that's it. It'll be like, that was a shitty time. This was an enraging time, guy. It was a piece of fucking crap.
I'm convinced that this movie had no script.
Yeah.
There is just kind of a skeleton, and by that I mean the guy wrote down on a napkin, possibly turd-filled toilet paper.
Yeah.
The guy likes the Stooges and sees them around things. Clips. That's the script, guy.
Yeah. So look, to spare you the agony of watching this piece of shit, the plot, quote unquote, is apparently an actual mania is sweeping the world.
Yeah.
Stoogemania to be precise, where people are, I guess, almost like in like a fucking physical, psychological need of consuming Stooges stuff. To the point where it's almost portrayed, it is portrayed as drug addiction or sex mania, only with Stooges material.
Yeah,
well, anyway, our main character is beleaguered by this, and that's it.
That's it.
We see him, I don't know, do nothing, basically.
Yes, that's the thing. This guy, this fat piece of shit, who's got to be the most annoying looking guy of all time.
Yeah, man. If there ever was a case for having pretty people be on Hollywood screens, it's this fucking movie.
As a fat loser myself, I want to say that I never want to see that fat loser on my screen again.
Yeah, man. However, if you're watching this channel, then this movie might be just for you, because it's literally an hour and a half of watching a fat piece of shit watch stuff. That's the fucking movie. There is no plot.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't really do anything. He just sees things.
And by those things that he sees, it's literally clips that have nothing to do with the story. They don't flow with the story except for maybe one or two that they force into the thing.
4 or 5 hours.
They're just clips from the 4 public domain Three Stooges shorts. Now there's 70-something shorts of the Stooges, I think. 4. They mine 4 that have been seen over and over by the public.
Yeah.
Since they've been public domain. That's it. They mine those 4 for clips. And that takes up the majority of the running time. And they're not shown all together at once.
They don't make sense sometimes.
They're just scenes. Random-ass scenes without context. If you've never seen the clips, they're not going to be funny because it's just 3 jerks making sounds and hitting each other occasionally.
Yeah.
That's part of the funniness of the Three Stooges, the physical humor. But there's got to be a setup for that to be funny.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just some ass hitting some other ass.
Now, there's a scene where he, quote, hits rock bottom and goes to like a porno, like the old school.
It's Skid Row.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's Skid Row, only it's Stooge Row. It's
Stooge Row, guy.
It's literally called Stooge Row. Anyway,
where
that's the joke.
Everybody's yucking and shit.
Yes.
And there's porno theaters with Stooge shorts.
Yes.
And the most tragic thing in this film, Armin Shimmer. What's his name? Shimmerman?
Is
it just Shimmer or Shimmerman?
Now that you bring it up, I've always just said Armin Shimmerman. No, have I said Shimmerman or Shimmerian? Now I'm all fucking...
I'm confused too.
Well, anyway...
Armin Shimmer, let's call
If you've seen Buffy, he's the principal. If you've seen...
Ferengite.
Yeah, if you've seen Star Trek, he's fucking Quark. He's a hideous guy that's in cool stuff every now and then. Well, he's in this, I hate him.
He's in this as like a Larry guy, and he hates himself the entire film.
Yeah, his face is shoot me. It literally reads shoot me. But anyway, yeah, they're in Stooge Row, and they treat this Stoogemania as if it were a drug or sex addiction. So you have like prostitutes that are themed to stooginess, I guess.
And they're yucking at people.
Yeah, conceptually you think, well, that might work in a stupid way. It doesn't.
No.
Trust me, they don't ever translate that well. And the closest they get to translating this in a pseudo comedic way is our main character, which you hate seeing every moment he's on screen, goes into what can only be equated to a porno booth nowadays. Yes. And he puts in quarters to see reels of the Three Stooges for ages.
Which he's already seen 1 million times on TV.
And while he's doing it, he's like lewdly laughing, almost like if he's masturbating, basically. And it nears some sort of like manic comedy, but it's disgusting. So you're like, what is this? Especially since the apparent point of the movie is that there is nothing wrong with liking the Stooges because of their comparative innocence to modern day TV violence and all that shit.
Yeah, they try to bring that into it.
Yeah.
And it's like literally one scene and it's bad.
Yeah, and you can't say that at the end of your movie when the rest of the movie is treating...
Literal filth.
It's treating it like a fucking gross addiction.
Yes.
And we're all for gross and addiction. But this movie just sucks.
Dude, there's so many clips. I know we already mentioned it. There's so many clips in this movie that you will eventually hate the Three Stooges. I wanted to time travel back to the freaking late 1800s and kill their mother so that they could stop this movie from being made.
Yeah, man, that would have been a better alternative to have them suffer the indignity of being put in this fucking movie. Quote me during the movie, stop shoving things I love into fucking actual shit, man. Dude, this movie is the fucking pits.
Yeah.
If you trimmed out all the Stooges shorts or clips that they stuff into this thing, I bet you this movie's like 25 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's just the fat guy sitting.
Yeah. The fucking film stock that they use must have been actually rendered in chicken fat. Because you can't even tell who's who sometimes because their faces are nothing.
And it's strange because they use like different transfers of it. Because they'll look worse in some scenes. They'll look kind of okay in others. Suddenly they'll be color and suddenly they're not. and they all look like shit, and you want to murder yourself. Also, there's countless scenes of him opening doors
and just into Stooge clips.
Yes, it seems like someone found out how to roto out a dude, and they're like, oh, let's do that 1,000,000 times.
Yes, man. And then there's actual scenes of people turning on TVs, and then you're watching them watch the Stooges on a tiny screen for hours.
Dude, literally at least 5 minutes sometimes.
Dude, decades.
I feel like we're still seeing it, guy.
Yes. This movie ends with a montage that can only be compared to, I don't know, a depiction of Japanese hell on a fucking scroll.
Yes.
And or some, I don't know, Hieronymus Bosch fucking hellscape. It's just an interminable fucking mishmash of garbage.
Yeah.
That seems to never end. Especially because by that point you're like, please shoot me right now.
Yeah. If you ever want to see a physical depiction of depression, it's this movie.
Dude, yeah. You know what this just made me disgustingly sad.
You're already disgusted and sad.
Yes, I was already
brought
that.
It together.
But this movie has one of the comic legends in it, Sid Caesar.
Oh, I thought you meant that guy that almost replaced one of the Stooges after no one cared about him.
Oh, God, let's talk about that guy next. Anyway, one of the comic legends of his time.
Yeah.
A compatriot of the Stooges and other greats.
And unfortunately, my introduction to this person.
Yeah, the first time you've ever seen him that I'm aware of. Sid Caesar's in this. And I
wanted to kill him.
It can only be described as the effect of his role can only be described as they could afford him probably because he needed money, and they were like, "Hey, that guy lived in that era.
He's alive, yeah.
He's alive. We can afford him. Let's bring him in
and not give him a script.
Yeah, not give him a script and let him kind of riff, but he doesn't give a shit. 1 and 2, he's 1,000." And 3, the movie's a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah.
So it's... Well, first of all, they don't even let him do anything, really. And then you're back into a Stooges clip. And then they come back, and he just does the same thing again. And you're like...
you get another clip.
And then you get another clip, and you're like, we just saw that. Are we living in hell right now? Yeah. Is this my personal hell to just relive this movie?
It's a time loop. And then he disappears the whole movie when Armin comes in, and you're like, oh no! And then he comes back at the end, and we were confused by what he was doing.
Yeah, until I realized, oh no. They probably told him, or he was like, I guess I'll do this. I'm gonna kind of touch on some shtick that I did back in the day, but then not care enough to go all the way. So basically, it's just him doing a German voice, and you're like, I was like, this killed my love of Sid Caesar.
Oh boy, sick.
What's up, Doc?
Sick. Alles sick, alles. Das ist alles sick, 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 sick. Alles hier ist sick. Das ist alle Riefen von den Stippen, von Riefen Augen, Wächter, alle. In Stellerei von haben und Sicko.
This sucks.
You hate him now?
Now, I know a lot of people don't care or know about Sid Caesar unless they're into older stuff like that. But this is no way to know the man.
Yeah.
And it's best that you don't ever recognize who he is because you'll want to travel back in time and kill him too.
Yeah.
It sucked. All right? And then that turns out the guy that plays the main guy that you just want to kill the whole time. He's the son of Zero Mostel, which of course is, an actor of legend himself. And this is his fucking offspring? This useless, unincubated turd?
He looks like if Newman sucked ass.
Yeah, and Newman sucks ass from Seinfeld. But he's the kind of suck ass that you like.
Yeah, he's amusingly sucky.
This is just a guy that sucks. Literal fucking culos.
He is the walking incarnation of AIDS.
Nah, dude, AIDS is way better.
AIDS is pretty cool compared to this guy.
Yeah. If this movie had been popular, the AIDS epidemic in the 80s would have been like, nah, we're going to be okay.
Pretty good, yeah.
But the movie was a total failure, and you can tell why. Can't imagine anybody fucking having stayed the length of this movie.
That's the thing. Like, about about a minute in, I was like, people have already walked out of this, right? And you're like, I don't know, guy, it was the 80s. By the end, we were literally 69ing each other to stop ourselves from seeing the film.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I would rather see you. I would rather have sex with you. And for those of you that are not aware of this, if this is your first time on the channel, he's my brother. I would rather 69 him right now than have to watch that movie again.
I said, after we finished this, I said that guy, the hats off dude, was too nice. Because my review of this would have just been a 5-hour live stream of me screaming into the ether, ending with me shooting my brains out.
Dude, there was moments in this movie where we both screamed.
Yeah, there was so much screaming, guys.
And it was genuine. It was. Like you were at one point. I'm not going to replicate the scream, but approximate it. And... what? And it's like 2 minutes in, and we're like, what the fuck, man?
There's a part where something shitty happened, aka the whole movie, and I had a ruler in my hand, and I was like, I'd rather stick this up my urethra to feel something else.
And you know what? Under normal circumstances, a movie that's not complete mierda, I would have been like, that's pretty funny, but you were dead serious.
I was, guys. Something.
As was I.
Our dog dropped something, and you're like, oh, cool, you get to do something else. I'm like, yep, making it last, guy.
Dude. Oh my god, I wish another dog would have dropped something over here so I could pick it up and not see the screen.
Yes.
Speaking of Nazis, that's better than this movie.
There's a weird Nazi reference in this. That was weird. And then you get the German scene, so that was a thing. So
yeah, that's weird. I mean, Jewish folk like to joke about serious stuff.
But I feel like this movie didn't deserve it.
Oh, no, hell no. There's nothing in this movie that says you've earned a Nazi joke.
Yeah, guy.
If anything, you should be in 1940s era Germany movie, specifically around the area of Auschwitz, so they could burn your fucking ass. This movie sucks.
It's the worst.
And let me tell you, film burns pretty fast, so please chuck that shit into a fucking furnace.
Yeah, out of so many movies that have been lost to time, this one still exists.
Oh, man.
Now, it is out of print and hard to find, but it's also on YouTube, so anyone can watch it.
I feel like burning the reels then or now would have done nothing because now it's on the internet.
Yes. We should not immortalize this.
This is tragic, guy.
It's bad, dude.
You know what's weirder? This movie was made by an Academy Award winner, so that just goes to show you that winning an Academy Award sometimes doesn't mean fucking jack and or shit.
Yeah. Because
the guy that made this movie, literally wrote and directed this movie, won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Now, in case you're going, who is it? Fucking William Friedkin?
It's actually Scorsese.
Yeah. This is epic. His magnum opus.
Robert De Niro's in this too.
Oh, man. I would watch that. It's a sad part. And then hate myself for doing it because this sucks. But anyway, the guy, in case you're wondering who it is ready for this one, guy?
Oh, dude.
Strap yourself in. You're going to be shocked.
I don't think I'm ready, guy.
Ready?
Yeah.
Chuck Workman.
Oh, no, not Chuck! Who the fuck is Chuck?
Oh, by the way, before I continue on who the fuck is Chuck, a relevant question. You're not prone to say fuck.
Nah, homie.
And it's very rare that you ever utter the word fuck.
Man, and I always feel weird afterwards, too.
Yeah. At the end of this movie, your rage had come to such a peak that you uttered it.
Yeah. And it wasn't even like a rage one, guy. It was just like, ah.
Yeah, it was just disappointment, really. Yeah, it wasn't rage. You were like, you saw the tile. After the movie was over, you saw the tile. I want to
see how long it was.
You saw the tile again, and the moment you saw and registered that was the movie, you just gave a defeated fuck. And it was just, I was still reeling from the movie, so I didn't even register the fact until just now. Yeah. But anyway, Chuck Workman, by the way, in case you're wondering,
classic Chuck
is nobody, deservedly so. He won an Academy Award for a short fucking film he made, and it's clear that he squandered whatever talent he may or may not have had. Because fuck watching that piece of shit. I have no interest in watching it now, even if it's great.
Yeah.
Even if it's the greatest short film ever made, I don't want to watch it because of this piece of shit movie that he made. And you sit and you watch this movie and you're like, this guy wrote and directed anything Academy Award nominated?
Yeah, guy.
How?
I feel like it's ridiculous and stupid for anyone to wish harm on something that is entertainment based. I feel like this is the only time where I felt
it's
that.
justified, yeah.
I wanted to murder Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck needs to die.
If he was here, I would hang him. And laugh at his corpse, honestly.
Dude.
Make him watch the movie first, though.
If Logan Paul would have laughed at Chuck Workman's corpse in some Japanese forest, I might have been okay with it.
He'd be a hero guy.
I would have been okay with it. If I had seen this movie, I would have been like, yeah, I mean, you made Stoogemania, guy.
Yeah.
You've earned more than that.
You're being nice, really.
This movie sucks. It's not a movie.
Not kidding.
Dude.
We've said this before, but this is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
The worst piece of shit ever.
And we've ventured into, every now and then the movie comes out that people are like, that's the worst movie ever made.
Yeah.
We've seen all those.
Yeah.
Maybe a few exceptions we haven't. Like, oh yeah, you've seen Troll 2.
Yeah.
We've seen them. The Room, Troll 2, and Neil Breen movies. We've seen them all.
Something happens in those.
Yes, that's the thing, man. Give me an Andy Sedaris movie, anything.
Yes.
Something happens. They're funny because they suck so hard. This movie is an impetus to suicide. I wanted to die, guy.
It's true. You wanted to kill me and kill yourself.
Yes. It wasn't no hate thing either. I just literally wanted to put us out of our misery.
Yes.
This movie is the fucking pits. This is not a joke. This movie sucks. Do not look it up. Do not watch it. Don't get curious because we're saying don't.
It's not worth it.
This is not some like a Serbian film where you're like, don't watch it. It's the most offensive thing ever. And then you go watch it for that very reason.
Yeah.
This is not that case. This is just a piece of crap.
I think in every movie, even the worst of them, there's at least one thing that you can say, well, at least they did that.
Yes.
At least they made it. At least they, had actors.
Yes.
This had literally no redeeming qualities. It actually worsened humanity.
Yes.
Quite a bit.
This movie, oh God, this movie. That's what we should call it. That's what it is, not a movie. This fucking movie has music in it that's tailor-made for it.
Stooge-based
including
music.
a main theme. And it's not only 80s, but super cringe.
Yes.
Alien robot, ain't no space invaders ever got me hot. You couch potatoes better get back, 'cause I'm a Stooge maniac.
And it makes you want to murder yourself. And it's the first thing you hear on top of seeing garbage in front of your eyes. And then it has another one later on where you're like, oh no.
Oh yeah, during the super long wedding scene.
Yes.
Oh, before we forget, they also got that guy that was almost going to replace one of the Stooges before they went out of relevance, basically, once everybody was dead. He's in this. He's the only person that looks like he's having some fun.
Yeah.
But I felt bad for the dude.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh man, this is how he gets his time.
Yeah, yeah. No, there was no surviving Stooges at the time this movie was made.
Yeah.
So, of course, once they destroyed Sid Caesar, they were like, hey, what else can we get that's kind of...
Curly Joe was alive because he died when I was born.
Oh, that's right.
I'm his reincarnation
Dude,
guy.
Curly Joe didn't do this.
He was like, nope. And when Curly Joe says no, you know you suck.
You know your fucking movie sucks. He was probably like, give me a script. And they were like, we don't have one.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so if you don't know this, Curly Joe was the umpteenth millionth replacement Stooge, okay? Yeah. And he was the last Stooge to be alive. And he, after Curly died, they replaced him with Shemp, which was actually one of the original Stooges. And then Shemp died, and so they replaced him with Joe Besser.
Who sucks, by the way.
Who sucks. Then they replaced him with Curly Joe DeRita, who was the last televised Stooge.
Yeah.
And he was the last one to die. So they could have gotten him for this.
Yeah.
And he, he didn't mind doing shit like this. He didn't even give a shit about really the Stooges because he went out and made his own Stooges. So he would have done this for cash, but he didn't even give a shit about it.
Yeah.
It sucks. So what they did was they went and got poor Sid Caesar out of his fucking grave and paraded him around like an idiot. And then they said, hey, there were other Stooges before, Ted Healy and his Stooges. So they got a guy from the vaudevillian era version of the Stooges that anybody outside of vaudeville or, just being an extreme Stooge guy wouldn't give a flying fuck about. and they put him in front of the camera. And yes, you're right. He's the only one that looks to be having fun. But that's probably because he his whole life he probably lived it going, damn, I could have been on the screen with the Stooges, and I wasn't.
It's kind of sad because he seemed kind of happy to be doing the shtick or whatever. But then you're like, he's in this.
Yes.
This was the only time that anybody outside of some, like you said, some know-it-all, not in a derogatory way, Stooge fan would ever see this guy, and this is what he's in.
Yes, it sucks.
And he
for
probably
him.
died, that being his only role.
That very day that he did that. It sucks. There's also a very confusing, and the Hats Off Entertainment pointed this out, a very confusing tip of a hat, or really, in the case of this movie, fart in the face of the Marx Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy in here that's clearly Harpo Marx. It's well, not the real Harpo Marx, obviously he's dead, but he was clearly supposed to be Harpo Marx, his on-screen character. And he's just there.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Does nothing. He's just there in the porno theater.
Yeah, on Stooge Row. Was that like a way to say even the Marx Brothers like the Stooges, or worse, was it to say that even the Marx Brothers would have to bow down to the might of the Stooges? What was that? I don't understand what that was, and it sucked. Because we love the Marx Brothers too, but that sucked.
Look, here's the thing. This movie, like you said, is just 100% clips, 1% feces, and that 1% is also 100% of this movie. So it's a weird math problem. But here's the thing: it's clips. But since they're out of context and they're just the punching and shit, yes, the Stooges were mostly just slapstick shit. But they had clever lines.
Yes.
They had, the worst skits, not counting Besser shit, are the ones where it is just punching shit. Yeah. Because that gets tiring.
Yeah.
The way they play off each other, the weird little lines, the clever little jokes that go in and out, that's what's funny. The people that the recurring, people that they played off of, that was cool. Without all that, it's just three losers
dummies,
punching each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all they show you. At the end, you get a 75 million a year clip, I believe. Of just the funny parts of the Stooges, and that's where you can tell that this idiot Chuck, the piece of shit that wrote this movie, does not understand what makes the Stooges good.
Or maybe I'm pretty sure there's people out there that only find the physical comedy of the Stooges funny.
Yeah.
And
that he's one of them, I guess.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you how, and I kind of hate to say this, how dumb you have to be to only focus on that.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck, guy?
I get it for a while, but that's the thing with the Stooges. If you watch multiple things, you notice things. You notice that they're actually clever. You notice that they're actual, performers that do stuff that isn't just punching each other. The punching stuff's funny, but that can only take you so far. And this guy took it way too far, guy. Yeah.
There's no showcase for the characters. Like, the characters, the way the brothers and Larry, played these characters was funny. Their character quirks, yes, their constant quipping, just the use of old school vernacular, like street level vernacular, was funny. None of that, guy. Nah. None of that. Just, oh, look, he hit him in the head, I guess. Cool.
And again, a problem with using these many clips of 4 shorts is that they reuse them.
Yes.
Thousands of times, guy. Thousands of times, guy. In the same scene, they'll reuse clips.
I've never seen a movie.
I've never experienced rage with a movie this much.
Yeah, guy. I've sat through some shit-ass movies that are insanely long,
I'd rather watch Empire.
I would rather watch Empire, and both the Terrence Howard show, which, clearly is not great.
Yeah.
And the 12-hour movie that is just a static shot of the fucking Empire State Building for 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's way better than this fucking movie, man.
We recently reviewed Nikocado Avocado's Asshole.
I would rather
watch that, guy. Because at least there's something to look at.
Oh my God, man.
And though it is Cthulhuid in nature, at least it's something to lose your mind over that is not pure feces. Well, I guess it is kind of feces based. But this is literal Dookie
Yeah, this
guy.
is little Duke guy, straight from the fucking log hole.
Yeah.
And they're not cutting it off, guy.
Nah, homie.
There's a straight stream of turds.
That log is long, guy.
So anyway, on a scale of 1 to 10, as
Freaking
is
the worst.
par of the course here.
I refuse to rate this because this is not a film. This is
have to, guys.
This is filth.
I've only given a few zeros in my lifetime. We've given some low scores, some 2s, even a 1, I think. Some 4s. Those are pretty low.
0 is too nice.
0 is too nice. And since this technically can't count as a fucking movie because it's not constructed like one, and there's no redeeming value, artistic or otherwise,
guy.
and it doesn't function as what's supposed to be, and it's full of annoying quote-unquote characters, and it ruins something that a lot of people love. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch The Three Stooges for a while, to be honest with you. And I still haven't gotten through my set of shorts yet.
We survived Besser, guy, and this killed us.
We've watched The Stooges many times.
Yes.
But this is going to put a stop to it for a while. But look, man, the fact of all those facts, the fact that it ruined Sid Caesar for me now, all this shit. This movie sucks so hard that I can only give it a score of -1 trillion. I venture to say that if there ever is a worse movie, I will shoot my brains out live for free. But I'm pretty sure there's never going to be a worse movie than this.
This is I've looked into the eyes of Satan, and then this is this film.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. If you ever have doubts that God exists and thus Satan, then he made this movie. Satan himself made this fucking movie, and he's laughing in the lowest bowers of hell because we watched it. He's happy, guy.
So I'll give this a Satan out of God. This is the worst evil.
This is the worst evil wrought on man. Original sin my ass. This fucking movie sucks, man.
And the sad thing is, I still think we're being too nice on this movie.
Yes! There's nothing we can say that can communicate how much it fucking reeks.
Yes.
So anyway, if you want to watch a piece of shit, don't! Because you don't want to watch this.
Guy. As a connoisseur of crap film, I recently made a point to try to purchase Cat in the Hat and Son of Mask.
Which are horrid.
Which are possibly one of the worst movies of all time. I would never buy this. If I saw someone almost buy this, I would just kill them and their babies that they don't have at the time.
Yeah. You gotta end any bloodline that wants to see this. It's just facts. Anyway, this is a thing we saw, man.
It's horrid.
This is the thing we saw. Sometimes I have like bouts of depression where I question the validity of my life.
Yeah.
Never as much as I've had just this moment, realizing that we spent an hour and a half watching this piece of shit, then another fucking 30 minutes talking about it. But anyway, don't watch it. It fucking sucks. -1 trillion. Yeah. That's the score. It's dead serious. We're out.
This music story times, all kinds of shit for you. Anything goes inside the night, don't cup of corpulent juice. This music story times, all kinds of shit for you. Anything goes